Cold fronts are the bane of Midwestern walleye anglers, capable of cooling off a hot bite overnight. But these dreaded weather changes don't have to ruin your day. Up next, Fish Head host Jon Thelen and fellow guide Mike Christensen share top-secret tactical adjustments for catching tough-bite cold front walleyes.
Driving around to start our day here. We've got one of those days that you just can't plan for. You know, you could be out on a vacation, you could be up north for the weekend, or just have a day on the water planned. You know, you look what happened to us south this morning. There's been rain all around us, and the wind has switched to the east. Last night we had some storms come through, and I'll tell you what, it's a different world out here. You get that east wind, and it can really turn fishing off, and we're gonna have to do a little work today to get them figured out. But I think we'll figure them out one way or another, but it's gonna take altering things a little bit. Down? No. That was quick. You know what? I don't see mine out there either.
Got him.
See? I don't see mine. Mine must be. Fish had to have swam right back at me. There he is, right there. Got him. Yeah. That's a good way to start. In fact, that's a faster way to start than I planned on today. The situation we're in calls for changing things a little bit. And that's just plain and simple because what's happening here, Mike, why don't you go ahead and just get him right up through here. Okay. What's happening here is we are dealing with a good old-fashioned cold front. And I've said it before, I don't like using a cold front as an excuse for not being able to catch fish. The way I look at a cold front is you just got to change how you're fishing it. You look around today, these storms rolled through here last night. There's rain to our south. It's going to be a tough day. We're dressed in clothes that you don't expect to be wearing at the end of June. But we're still dressed like this because it's chilly out this morning. We got a good old-fashioned east wind. And you just got to change a few things if you want to catch fish in this situation. This is a good one to start our day. One of those things is, as much as I talk about being aggressive and fishing fast, because it's my favorite thing to do. Look at that. That's fast right there. But as much as I talk about fishing fast, that right there is what you can do when you slow down. You look at how we're fishing today, we're parked. I drove around, found the fish, but then we had to park. And we had to park because these fish are not aggressive. Oh, look at that. Just goes to show you everything lives together, doesn't it? But these fish are not running around. We found them and we had to just park on them because if I would have kept running around and trying to move fast like we normally do, I don't think we'd have ever got them. Let's get these guys back in the water and let's get back out.
Catch a few more?
Yeah, pretty simple. You can do it in a cold front. We'll just kind of work our way through it today and show you exactly how we do it. And that guy was in a hurry to get out of here. Got him. That feels like a pretty good one, bud. It's gonna come right here, Mike. I'm gonna try to direct him to your side here, bud. Come on up here, buddy. Feels like a pretty good one. Oh yeah, it is. Look at that. Look at that. All right. One of the things that I'll tell you we're trying really hard to do is pick high percentage locations in these situations. When you got these conditions, just know that the majority of your fish are gonna have gone deep during those storms that rolled through last night. So what we're doing here this morning is we're working the edges of structure. Well, Mike's retying. Let me show you real quick what we're using, because it's a real simple setup, and it's probably my favorite way to fish. I just love slip bobbers. Slip bobber fishing just allows you to be so versatile. You can just set up right over the top of fish. You can drift a line in there. You can do so many things without spooking a fish, and you can use them in any depth of water because you can set a slip knot to wherever you want. What I'm using today is a Thil wobble bobber. Now what's really cool about this thing is it's got a brass grommet in both ends, so the line just flies through it. You don't cut a groove in it. It's also printed right on the side. You know exactly how much weight it's gonna hold up, and it's easy to see out there in the water. The other neat thing about the wobble bobber is no matter what you have for wave action, this thing's constantly got a little bit of movement. And if you have that little bit of movement, you're putting a little bit of movement down there on the jig. Now down here, we're just using a simple 32nd ounce Lindy jig, and I talk about this a lot. When we're slip bobber fishing, I like a jig head instead of a plain hook because it holds that leech sideways, makes him look really natural in the water. You use a setup like this, and I'll tell you what, you can catch any species anywhere you go. Yep. That feels like a pretty decent fish. That's one of the neat things about these long rods we use when we bobber fish. I know a lot of times people ask me about why we use these long rods. And I'll tell you, this is a good example right here. I didn't get all the slack out of this fish. I was close, but I didn't get quite all of it. I kind of got lucky because I got that long rod, and once I get to the top, you get such a long sweep that you can make sure you do get the fish hooked up, even if you don't do a real great job of getting all the slack out. Look at that, what a great way to wrap up the day right there. This is what you can do. You can come out, don't get intimidated by these days when cold fronts come through. There was a time in my life when I didn't want to go fishing on cold front days. I used to dread them when I was guiding. I know you do today, Mike, sometimes, but the truth of the matter is you come out here and you fish the way we're fishing. Sit still, get yourself parked a little bit and have a little bit more patience, and here's what can happen. You can catch fish all day long just like we're getting them today.